Shalom there. How does the living word differ from the word? How are our old Bibles not the living oracles of YHUH? You may be wondering, what is the difference between the word of Yah and the living word, or the living oracles? In Acts 7:37 to 38, we are told that Yah's words are living oracles, or as Messiah said, life itself. Acts 7:38, preceded by 37. That is Moshe, who said to the children of Israel, "And Navi shall the Master Yahuwah your Elohai raise up from among your Israelite brothers, like me. To him you shall listen." This is he that was in the Edatah, the Ecclesia, the Keilah of Yisrael in the wilderness, with the Malach Yahuwah who spoke to him on Har Sinai, and with our Ahavot who received the living words, the living oracles, to give to us. RSTNE 8th edition. RSTNE 8th edition. Stephen likens the word of Yah as living in conjunction with Messiah, the prophet like Moshe, that would give us living words of life. We see the connection between the Torah and the Messiah and the words of Chaim, life. Now, what does that have to do with our Restoration Scriptures, True Name 8th edition? A secular definition of life is the condition that distinguishes animals and plants from inorganic matter, including the capacity for growth, reproduction, functional activity, and continual change. And continual change preceding death. Once we as believers die, we are raised in the ultimate change, a new life in his presence. As we awake in his presence, and ultimately in his likeness, according to John Yochanan 12:24. So as we have learned in 39 years of service to the Master, let us explain how this translates to our Restoration Scriptures True Name edition, yours and ours. As we near the end of the age, the living words or living oracles live and breathe as never before. Anything living undergoes growth and change. The word of Yah, however, cannot change. However, what does change is the new breath or wind or holy fire that brings the words of the prophet like unto Moshe into a new living Hebraic Messiah-based light. The new light, whether by divine revelation, divine infilling, restored Hebraic texts, archaeology, or by ancient manuscripts, unearthed, all have served and will continue to serve as living oracles. These findings do not change his word, settled forever in heaven and earth. But they do, however, turn them into living words living oracles for the end of the age, which become more functionally active and revelatory, with hundreds of burning, renewed, and restored insights. In a nutshell, we have both sought and accomplished this miracle in the Restoration Scriptures True Name Eighth Red Letter Edition, progressively since 2002. Now you may be thinking, of course, we already know and support this project. Ah, yes. But many do not know this already. And most believers seem to believe there is little difference in most mainstream translations and the one that has been in the family for 4 generations, which is good enough. And yet, what everyone needs to know is this shocking truth. If the above statements and claims are true, which they clearly are, then any translation that does not or cannot or refuses to update the ancient translations, where renewed knowledge comes and where the ancient knowledge was limited, that translation is not a truly updated living oracle. And if not a living oracle, it does not meet either the biblical definition or even the secular definition of Chaim, life. Any translation not willing to update or rework a verse when the end of the age data requires it is disqualified as the prophesied living oracle. No matter how sincere or even pure their motive is. Even most Hebraic Bibles out there have the KJV, the King James, and the Masoretic text, or something similar as their base text, full of rabbinic and church redactions. Yet the very biblical updates that are required and verified, the living oracles, they withhold out of fear of somehow changing Yah's words. This was the very accusation levied against the apostles when writing the renewed covenant scriptures. They were accused of changing the Bible and the faith of Jewry. Acts chapter 7, verse 51 reminds us that our Israelite fathers acted the same way, always resisting the life and the living oracles, the revelation of the set-apart Spirit, the author of the living oracles. Yet Yah has not given us this unclean spirit of fear, but one of power, love, and a sound and clear mind, the very mind of the Messiah. All these other translations, all of them are mere reprints of texts that have been around for 300 to 500 or more years, with absolutely zero updates based on new information and end of the age discoveries. These biblical discoveries do not bring us a new Bible or a new scripture or a new word that has been changed, but it does necessitate and cry out for a constantly restored and updated project. Any translation that does not change former errors is not a living oracle. In other words, if the discoveries about ancient Hebrew texts and findings are not updated updated into the text itself. Then, my friends, all you have are reprints of the exact same information available to scholars and translators for the last 300 to 500 years, making Daniel, Stephen, and Messiah out to be all liars. Yah forbid. And we also know that many of these men were anti-Torah, anti-Semitic, ecclesiastical church loyalists, and even homosexual. We all know that as new discoveries about ancient texts emerge, we will see more and more errors and biases in the same old recirculated reprints, the ones that refuse to repair and to restore. So we here at rstne.com are blessed to be able to say that our texts have been updated several times each year to always reflect the latest information found or literally unearthed. That is actually our goal as men with willing, circumcised hearts. Acts 7:51. This is why, in part, there have been so many editions of the RSTNE, in case you thought that it was mainly about money. No, it was all about accuracy and being obedient to the set-apart, clean spirit of Yah. Or let's put it another way. Every translation that does not update their texts regularly is giving you a stale reprint full of half-truths, limited manuscript access, disregarding the discoveries of the last 300 to 500 years, and is disqualified to be a living oracle. This is the true red flag as it pertains to any translation. In that stubbornness of approach lies all translations in English, at least, that refuse to update and upgrade their accuracy based on the latest impeccable evidence of 2 to 3 legitimate scholarly witnesses. Brethren, this is no small problem. Listen, please. In order to preserve the traditions of men, these translations have not changed one comma in 500 years. Think about that. These are by and large the ones you own and are on your shelves or smartphones. This sad reality is what most people have today, the word, or should we say a word, which is not fully active, is not fully alive. By breathing out the restored fiery revelation and a fuller, clearer understanding. Daniel 12:4 cautions us that the word will be sealed until the end of the age, when knowledge and understanding of his word will increase. That increase requires adjustments from the translators and the editors. If that is true, and it is, then that increase knowledge must be recorded accurately and the texts updated periodically, as the time of the sealing is now come. The RSTNE is the only version in existence today that does not shy away from updating texts, not based on stale and often erroneous reprints, with a few Hebrew concepts thrown in, but rather that brings and includes each and every newfound update from all languages: Hebrew, Aramaic, Syriac, Greek, and the Samaritan dialect, into restored light. In this fearless approach, we can honestly thank Yah and say that we here at rstne.com have proven the words of Messiah, Stephen, and Daniel to be true as they speed to their ultimate fruition. See Acts 3:21. The RSTNE alone has responded to the high calling of restoring the word of Yah into the living and activated oracles of the Most High, without fear and with his blessed assurance and shalom that passes all human understanding. We have heard and we continue to obey. Baruch Hashem Yahuwah. Yeshayahu 58 verse 12. And they that shall be from among you shall rebuild the old ruined places. You shall restore the foundations of many generations. And you shall be called Gadar Peretz, the restorer of ancient paths to live in. This has been an end time proclamation for the beloved bride from rstne.com.